What's good people?
What's going on, everybody?
Welcome back to another episode of the Adult Deck Podcast, the place where you come learn how to stack your cards against the game of life. I am your host, Ronnie Scott, and I am joined by my lovely husband and hilarious co-host, Peter Scott. Today, we are here to talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Cool. We a bunch of needy mofos.
Yeah, I am. Sorry about that.
I'm everybody has needs.
I'm high needy.
High need.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a phrase.
I don't think so. So, let's roll right into it. So Abraham Maslow was a psychologist who developed.
He didn't have to sacrifice no sons, did he?
No.
What? Just keep going.
So he's a psychologist who developed this theory based on humans' basic needs and based on how things get done.
Okay.
So it's essentially saying that all of your needs have to be met based on priority and where they fall. And essentially you can't move on to one tier. You can't move up the tier of needs until you've completed the tier below it and that's stable.
Okay.
So we'll get into that. And Maslow was also one of the first people in his field to start looking at human beings as, a whole complete entity. What's your backstory like? What's your family of origin like? Are your needs met? Do you have food? Do you have water? Do you feel safe? What makes a person a person? Instead of just looking at people be like, all right, you got depression, you schizophrenic, let's work on that and try to fix that.
You possessed by a witch, you got demons.
So Maslow was like one of the first people to be like, it got to start from somewhere. Don't just pop up one day. So when dealing with people, when dealing with his patients, he would use the hierarchy of needs theory to figure out and determine exactly where people's issues were coming from, where they stem from.
Okay.
So let's go on to all five. There are 5 areas, 5 levels in his hierarchy, so to speak. The first one is physiological needs.
I got my glasses on. It's teaching time. I'm learning today.
Hey, you gonna take notes too?
I don't know about all that.
We'll talk about extra credit later, though. So number 1 are your physiological needs. That's your food, your water, your shelter, your clothes. Mm-hmm. Some people may throw sex into there. I debate on that. But those are your physical needs. Essentially saying that, like, if you don't work on these, you're going to die. Like, if you don't have this, you'll die. That's how much of a necessity it is in your life. And honestly, I've read some places they throw sex into a physiological need. Some places don't.
Okay.
I can see.
Person.
It varies from person to person. I'll just leave it at that. And it's essentially saying you can't focus on anything else if one of those needs are faltering. Yeah. Like, if you wake up first thing in the morning, that's the reason they give you breakfast at schools. You can't focus on learning throughout the day and making your mind stronger if your stomach is growling and you're worried about what you're going to eat. Mm-hmm. Can't focus. So those are physical needs.
That's around period 3A or whatever happened. And I was checked out. I'm like, I need food. Stop this.
Oh, man.
It's a teaching thing, man. Gotta go.
So those are your physical needs.
Gotcha.
The next on the ladder is your safety needs. And these are a little more abstract, but definitely still rooted in physical needs. So these are things that make you feel comfortable and make you feel secure in your environment. So, like, having a lock on your door or having a job. Things like
having car insurance.
It's security. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel like if something were to happen, I'd still be okay.
Yeah.
They make you feel safe.
Man, I ain't leave the dealership until I had car insurance.
Man,
I'm not driving off this lot unprotected.
You don't want to do anything unprotected these days. So those are your safety needs. And so, okay, so for example, a safety need, like I said, would be your job, your employment. You need a job to make money. Mm-hmm. You need money to get food. You need food to survive. Okay. A job secures food.
All right.
Things like that. So those are your safety needs. Oh. I mean, and it's pretty simple. You gotta feel safe.
Pretty clear.
It's pretty clear. But up the ladder it gets a little fuzzy. So, and
break it down for us.
Right at the next tier, which is your love and belonging needs. So at the bottom, your physiological needs. Above physiological is your safety. Above your safety is your love and belonging needs. Okay. So your love and belonging needs is your need to feel a connection with people around you.
This quarantine ain't working for those types.
So thank you good addition to the class.
Excuse me, professor.
A lot of people are struggling with COVID and with the quarantine because of your love and belonging needs. Your sense of community is kind of like shaken up a little bit because you can't be around the people you love.
I hear you.
All the time. So these needs, like I said, result from being around people, feeling loved, feeling connected, just feeling like you're not alone in the world. Like you always need somebody. Humans need somebody, even if it's that one person. You need companionship.
We're not made to be alone.
And that's what your love and belonging needs are. And it's really sad because, like, you never really realize how intense or how serious your love and belonging needs are until you have someone like, for example, an old man. Him and his wife, it's just been them two. They've been together for the last 50 years. You know, that's his person. So he might have a heart attack and die, and then a couple weeks later, his wife goes after him because she literally died from a broken heart. Yep. Your community is not there. The person that you feel love from and feel connected from is no longer there, so you're missing that void. Yep. And it always happens unless you have the rest of your family to come in and fill that hole.
Yep. I hear what you're saying.
So, I mean, and it's like, it's not only do your love and belonging needs create a sense of community, but it just makes you feel better in your soul, in your person, when you got people, to confide in and be around. So once you have a set community that you belong to, you have a place, you belong here, you feel like this is where I should be. Those are my people. So those are your love and belonging needs. Next on the tier is your esteem needs. So
explain.
Okay, so to recap, we have our physical needs, which are the base: food, water, shelter.
Right.
Above your physical needs are your safety needs,
Gotta
your
love
job,
this pyramid.
security, your job, your security, things that make you feel safe.
Gotcha.
And secure. I'm trying to think of other words to say.
Stick to what you know.
And then above your security needs are your love and belonging needs. That's your need to have a community, people around you,
friends,
communication.
Your posse.
Yes. And then above your love and belonging needs are your esteem needs.
Esteem needs.
So,
what, you think you're better than us?
No. No. So essentially your love and belonging needs are how you feel about other people and how other people feel about you. Gotcha. And how you love other people and how other people love you. Your esteem needs are about how you feel and how you love yourself. So your esteem needs are essentially just needs that reflect how you feel about yourself, whether you respect yourself, whether you have high self-esteem, you think you're good.
I was about to say, this is just a fancy way to say self-esteem.
I mean, essentially, yes. But it also goes deeper than that. It goes into your social status, your financial status, where you fall in your tax bracket, on a ladder, things like that.
Excuse me.
and like how you feel recognized all the time. You have people thanking you out in public, and it's like, while it's somebody else doing it, it still makes you feel good about yourself.
Okay.
So those are your esteem needs. And it's like, yes, it has a lot to do with yourself and how you feel about yourself, but it's very hard to, I guess, determine that if you don't have a community, which comes from the tier below it, your love and belonging needs. Like, how can you feel good about what you've done if nobody told you that it was good?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
That
self-reflection isn't always the best.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes you need that outside view.
I definitely need an outside view sometimes. It's like that. Right. But because I have people around me, it's something as simple as, hey, your outfit looks nice today. You feel like, oh, thanks, my outfit does look cute today. Like, you need that. You need the esteem. You need to feel good about yourself. So those are your esteem needs. And at the very, very, very tip top of the ladder, we have your self-actualization, which in so many words is essentially just being like, I know what I'm here for. This is my purpose. This is what I want to do in my life. I'm actively working in my purpose.
So you're figuring that out. Oh, you're working on that. Say that.
I honestly think I'm a couple tiers below, but we'll go into that in our reflection.
Like I said, you need an outside look.
We'll get into that. We'll talk about that in our reflection. So essentially your self-actualization needs is just your desire to fulfill your life's purpose. It's just the what's the word I'm looking for? The comfort in knowing that, like I said earlier, this is what I'm here to do. This is what I am doing. Yeah. I'm here. I've reached my purpose on earth.
You reached the peak, your mountaintop.
Right. And it's the peak of the pyramid. I mean, and it's like, while most people can, and this is why I kind of say I feel like I'm a couple tiers lower, honestly. But while most people feel like, all right, I'm here, this is what I want to do, maintaining what you're doing, maintaining your purpose and actively walking in your purpose, maintaining how good you feel about yourself, maintaining how connected you are with other people, maintaining your security and maintaining your physical needs.
Better pick one.
It's like, that's why it's a tier, because everybody feels like they're at the top, but it's impossible to be at the top without everything below it being stable.
People are imperfect.
They are. They definitely are.
I don't think anybody covers all of it.
No, not at all. But
how much money or how successful you are, we know. Mr. Smith, we know. There's always something.
So I'm glad you brought up Mr. Smith. That goes into what I like to call my case study to kind of wrap up everything that we've been talking about. So I want to pull out Miss Meg the Stallion. So let's just go back, 2 or 3 months ago. Right. So 2 or 3 months ago, minus the quarantine. We're just gonna throw that out the window. And our
PQ,
pre-quarantine. So
before quarantine, PQ.
So back then Meg was on top of the world. She had all her fans. Yeah. She had been talking about for years how she wanted to be a rapper. She's finally rapping, finally entertaining people, doing what she wanted to do. She's hit her self-actualization. She's hit her esteem, because, man, look, Meg got to feel good about herself every day, no matter what. I mean,
reminds her why.
Yes, everybody does. So, she's feeling good about herself, her self-esteem, and her esteem needs are high. Her love and belonging needs are high. She's got a group of set people around her that makes her feel good, make her feel happy. That's good. Her love and belonging needs, her safety needs are good. She is getting a bag, a literal bag. So she don't never have to worry about where her meal's coming from, and thus her bottom tier physiological needs are met, because she know where her food, her water, her shelter is. She got a nice big house, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So couple years ago, you would say she's completed all her tiers. She's good. She's living her self-actualization.
And then life happens.
And then life happens. Now, after being shot in the foot or feet.
Man.
Right?
Just money makers out the window.
Think about how her entire pyramid, her entire hierarchy of needs has just come crumbling down.
Yeah.
By one incident.
Shot her confidence.
She can't rap as much as she can't rap and perform like she used to with this injury.
And that's the thing.
That knocks one down.
Rapping is one thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can put that on a CD, but nowadays with streaming, you're not making that much money.
You're not making that.
The concerts and the touring, and you can't do that on 2 shot feet. And everybody knows Megs for 2 things: you're rapping
and you're twerking.
God sent knees, and it's not all knees when you're twerking.
Not. You gotta have a stable foundation.
Her leg day gotta be ridiculous.
Oh
back then.
Man, look. So now that she's had this injury, her self-actualization, her walking in her purpose, not only does her purpose now probably look different to her in her life, which is also a great factor how you figure your purpose, but also if she felt to her,
you gotta get shot in the foot. Let's cut that out.
So even if her purpose in life is still rapping, she can't do that as effectively as she did anymore.
Yeah.
So now that brings her down to the esteem needs. Does she feel as good about herself
that she used to?
As she used to?
She was on this grind, uphill battle.
Yeah,
going uphill.
So like to see this, that would knock me. I know for sure that would knock me down a couple pegs. But like, so she's probably not feeling the best about herself. Not only does she has to deal with what happened to her, she also has to deal with the fact that she's in the limelight. All these people are saying all this different stuff about her. So her image is not what it used to be.
She's not feeling the jokes.
She's not. You shouldn't have. You shouldn't.
You shouldn't have to.
You shouldn't have to.
but
this is the case study.
Deal.
We don't want to get off topic. This is a case study. She, like I said, her self-actualization need has been shattered because she can't work and perform like she used to. Her self-esteem has been shattered because people are constantly poking fun and jokes about her when something seriously traumatic has happened to her. And then that breaks down, so then we go on to the next tier, which is her love and belonging needs, which she said herself that somebody that, cares for her is the person who intended to do her harm. Yeah. So it's like, how can you feel safe in your community when your community is the one that hurt you?
And not just that, your community is the one that's making the jokes about it too.
And your community is the one that's making the jokes about you. The people that were your fan. So now your love and belonging needs are crumbling. And then your safety needs.
Yeah.
Out the window.
All in one night.
Out the window. So it just goes to show that if she was feeling safe, then she would feel secure in her community. Mm-hmm. If she was feeling secure in her community, then she would feel better about herself and what she has going on and how people recognize her. Yeah. And then if that was good, she'd be out here still doing what she was doing, going off,
you're right,
having fun, making her records, doing her concerts, and everything else.
Being married.
So it just goes to show that you have to have one thing stable before you can move on to the next. You can't know what your purpose is and actively walking your purpose if you don't have a community around you to help you and support you.
Big facts.
Yeah.
I get that. That makes sense.
So, as a reflection,
wrap it up.
Where do you think you are in your hierarchy of needs? This is kind of like a test for me and you to test to see if you were listening during class, and a test for me to see if I effectively taught well.
I was definitely listening, but I'm definitely gonna need notes.
You can. It's an open book test.
I think I'm somewhere between esteem and self-actualization.
Really?
Yeah.
Do tell.
So, like, physiology and safety. That's all I'm at. I got a nice little job, meeting all my needs. Life insurance, health insurance, insurance,
keep me safe.
Car insurance, got an apartment, got food,
got rent,
got a car,
water, electricity, all that stuff stable.
Yeah, good there. Love and belonging. Well, I just got married, y'all, if y'all didn't know. So I think I'm good on that piece.
Yeah, but I cannot be the only person in your life. Okay, all right. My bad. Go ahead. I will let you finish. Go ahead.
I have my family, which I have moved away from, and that relationship has gotten a lot better since we have moved away. There's that. Getting older, I have now better relationships with my brother. So I'm getting brotherly support there as black men. I got my fathers, and I got my mother. I got church family. They're pretty decent and stable. I got my best friend James and my best friend Sharon. So yeah, I think I'm pretty solid in that piece. Now, I still have my own issues I deal with that does not stem from the people currently in my life. They'll go through my own anxieties. So I don't think that's a chemical imbalance from my brain. That's something I deal with, manage, but that's just my brain playing tricks on me. The facts as presented to me by the world are I'm loved and I belong. So, for me, somewhere in esteem, self-esteem, that's my own personal issues, how I feel about myself. It's not directly correlated to how people feel about me. That's ingrained that I'm still trying to work through and get out of. It's a process. I'm getting there. And self-actualization, I think that's where I'm in the middle of that somewhere. I know what I want to do. I just don't think I'm currently... The job I'm currently, or the people I currently work for, is helping me get there.
That's always a tough barrier.
So, I'm unlike you, unlike most people in our community, I have no problem working for somebody else. Not a single problem. Do I want to make my own money? Yeah, sure. But I don't have to not work for somebody to make my own money.
That is very true.
But I don't feel like I'm growing where I am. And I think that's where I am right now. I don't feel like I'm growing in the job that I am at right now. So, yeah, I got to stop procrastinating and get myself out of there. Yeah, I think that's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
As for me, I am somewhere between love and belonging and esteem needs. Okay. I'm just trying to work that out. Like, as far as love and belonging, my overall community, I guess, is my community and my family is shifting, going through some changes, and that's perfectly good. It's life. People grow and people change. So part one, growing up and realizing that, the ideal family, quote unquote, that I thought I had in my mind is not exactly what my actual family is turning out to be like. And not that that's a bad thing. It's just, it's different. Yeah. So I'm learning how to...
It's just different than what you envisioned.
Right. So I am learning how to accept the differences and just accept, here's what it is. Here's what it is. And that's how I'm feeling about my friendships right now a lot too. It's just if it is what it is, then that's it. I'm not, I have a anxious, preoccupied attachment style. Right. So I always try to do too much. I always take everybody's issues on as my own. I'm a lot to deal with sometimes. And I expect that subconsciously to be reciprocated at that level. However, I have grown and realized that I've grown and realized that not every relationship is like that. Yeah. like you do have those super close friends that you do everything with, that you're always invited to stuff from, but then some people aren't like that relationship dynamic isn't that way. So I'm learning to accept relationship dynamics for what they are and not what I have made up in my mind for them to be.
Oh, I got you.
So
if there was one thing you would like to leave with our audience, what would it be before we sign off for the week?
Really sit and assess if all your needs are being taken care of. And just start at the base level. Check off, do I have food? Yes. Do I have water? Yes. Do I have shelter? Yes. And just work up the ladder. I think it will help you discover what areas you need to focus on and you need to work through and strengthen.
I got you.
In your hierarchy of needs. So that's my thing. That would be my takeaway for you all. Your homework, so to speak. Go through Maslow's hierarchy of needs and figure out which level you're at and what you need to do to improve or strengthen that level.
I guess to piggyback off of that, mine would be that this isn't rock solid.
No.
Shouldn't govern your life by this. And that these needs can be fluid throughout your life. They can be ever changing. But yeah, I do think it's a good idea to run down this as a good guide post. It can help you figure out who you are, figure out the type of relationships you want and what your actual needs are. So yeah.
So that has been Maslow's hierarchy of needs for this week. Let us know if you have any questions, comments, how you feel about your needs, what level you think you're at. So we will see you all next week.
Same bright time, same bright. I don't know what I'm doing. It's been real, y'all.
Bye.